Hey, hey. What's up? Summertime, summertime. Um, okay. I wanted to do a quick, it might not be so quick, video just about, I don't know, just kind of an intro kind of thing for all of you to sort of prepare yourselves with before you dive into watching um the shows that we're gonna watch. Um, there's just a couple things that will help sort of get your mind right. Because typically, with television especially, we don't tend to think about it critically. We don't tend to think that it offers any value. It's just an entertainment vehicle that um, most of us are conditioned since birth to disregard as a site for meaning or um, anything valuable. It's different than film, right? Film is we like, for example, Binghamton has a cinema department. Oh, and it's very official and it's very academic and it's serious. But there's no TV department, and that's not just Binghamton. That's everywhere. Why is that? Well, TV is the bastard stepchild of film, and while it has gained some respect over the 100 or so years that we've had it, it's still people are like, yeah, but it's just TV. Yeah, TV is just supposed to uh, entertain me and nothing else. So this class is about not that. Um, Pretty much everything we're going to watch has a larger point. And in general, just as a rule, most media that you consume falls into the same category. There's a larger point. People aren't, I shouldn't say that. People aren't making art just cuz. Let's put it that way. Most people who make art, yes, TV is art. Uh, Most people make art for themselves, for uh, uh, to articulate an opinion or a point of view. So that's what we're looking for when you're watching these shows. Um, the comments, like, don't. Here's a staple. I say this to every class. I don't care if you like it or not. Don't fill half your comment or any of your comment with "I really liked it" or "I didn't like this." Like, that's nice, but that's not really what the class is about, right? Your comment should be your thoughts and feelings, not your taste, if that makes any sense. The taste thing, those are discussions that you can have at the bar, at the restaurant, at the picnic, at the um, bowling alley, um, in your dorm or your house or your whatever. Yeah, you can fight about if a show's good or not with your friends and family and all that stuff all you want. Not here, right? Number one, it would be impossible for me to put up, as many shows as we're going to watch and have everybody universally adore them. It's just impossible. It's art. It's all over the place. But what you need to do is push through that initial uh, taste barrier and be like, because within 5 minutes of a show, you might be like, I don't like this. Don't stop there, right? Get over I like it, I don't like it. Get into what is it about? Why is it this way? Why is it doing this? Why are these characters, and what's this episode about? Like those kinds of things. That's what your comments should be full of. Focusing on the um, focusing on the show more than your enjoyment of it, if that makes any sense. I know it makes sense, but um, that's a biggie. And as I said, in the syllabus, like all this stuff is comedy based. That's just um, that's a personal preference of mine. I also think comedy, like television, is something that's overlooked as a site for meaning, learning, whatever you want to call it. And that's what I've based my whole teaching career on. Is why aren't we studying this? Why aren't we looking into this from a social impact perspective? There's TV out there, and you'll see. We're gonna watch a lot of it. That is really trying to make a difference, or at least make a statement about issues, because issues, whatever. So comedy, I think, is the best place. We learn, we stand to learn the most from the things we take for granted, right? And what do we take more for granted of than television? And on top of that, like double down, sitcoms, comedies. What The answer is nothing. The answer is we take nothing more for granted of than that. So if you think about it, like, what do you typically traditionally learn from is textbooks, right? Um, well, these are your textbooks. Isn't that already more interesting? You know what to expect. You think you know what to expect from higher education. And that sort of complacency leads to just, I don't know, just not a great learning experience, I find. But if you go to something that you're not complacent with, that you haven't looked at from all angles, I think you're going to get more out of it. So that's how I use comedy. That's how I use television and film and all these other things in my other classes to sort of change how we learn, um, and think about the world, basically. I mentioned this a little bit before, but why would anyone enter into any scenario and not at once seek enlightenment and entertainment? Right? At work, with your friends, at home, with your family, in school. Like, why would you not always be seeking those two things? The funny parts of it and the interesting or fulfilling parts of it. And education is like ground zero for that. Like, that's where we should be doing it at all times. And a lot of disciplines ignore the entertainment part, right? It's just like, and most of us hate learning as a result. It's not fun. Typically, people make it boring and rote and regurgitative. I don't know if that's a word, but it's something. Um, so, and TV for the longest time has been entertainment only, right? A lot of you will say, oh, I use TV to escape, right? I need to just put something on and turn off my brain and just sort of decompress from a long day, blah, 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 blah. I think that's a cop out because you're selling it short. You're only using it for half of its powers, basically. And I would argue that the enlightening parts of TV make the entertaining parts that much more entertaining, and vice versa. Like, really good TV is always going to have a balance of those two things. And there's bad TV that's not interested in that balance. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be always seeking it. Both those entertainment and enlightenment. Fun and learning. Like, I know. They go together like two things that don't go together. But not anymore. You have to really think about this stuff. A big part of the course is sort of training your mind to work in a different way, I guess. So do that already. The course it's pretty simple. Like I said, I try to keep it really flexible because I know summer you guys got probably a ton of other things. Some of you are working, some of you are not working, but you should be able to fit it into your schedule pretty easily. Content will go up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can comment on that when you have time. I'll post these types of videos that will respond to your comments and have just some input from me. I'll post those intermittently, probably on either Tuesday or Thursday, or I'll try to keep up with the response videos. Those you can watch and comment on too. What usually happens in these summer classes is people watch the content, they leave their comment, and then I do these, I think they're awesome videos, and I post them, and like 3 people watch those because they're like, fuck this guy, I already did my requirements for the course. Don't do that. You can, I can't stop you, but why would you cheapen it that way? What is this if not, what does that make me if you're just watching a TV show and making a comment and then just like, what would you get out of the course, really? So this is my low-key plea to watch the videos I post of me lecturing to. I want this to be, I want it to be as interactive as possible. This whole Zoom thing is just trash. Like, it's dumb, especially for a course like this. So this has worked for me in the past because it's so fluid, and I hope you guys appreciate the fact that you can watch whenever you want, basically. So hopefully you can carve out time here and there to be diligent about it. I will say this about the content. It's with streaming services and all this shit, it's getting more and more difficult to provide like links to the episodes that I want to watch. I'm doing my best to find them and put them in the posts so that you can just watch them. But I don't know what subscriptions you guys have. And it's really because in a typical semester, we watch the stuff in class together. Like, so this isn't an issue. But now I'm just posting where I'm going to post where you can find the episodes. And when I can, I'll put them in the post. So you don't have to go somewhere else. But I don't know if you have Hulu, if you have Netflix, if you have Peacock, if you have HBO Max, if you have Paramount Plus, if you have whatever. So in each post, I'll try to give you the easiest way to find the episode. Like Prime is the best one. They have the most, but you might have to rent the episode or buy the episodes. Like $3. So you might have to talk to your parents or something. Just be like, hey, I need money for this course to buy books. That's what it would be. The equivalent of an episode would be like buying a book, and the book is only like $2.99. So that's something. But I'm gonna try to find to give you that information at least, and then you guys are probably better at finding pirated versions of things than me anyway. So just I want to make note of that. Like, if you can find the episode on your own, by all means, I'm going to try to at least help you find it, if that makes any sense. I just wanted to prep you. You might have to pay. You might have to put. You might have to pay for some of the episodes. Back to learning. There's a bunch of things about comedy. Because some of you might be saying, why comedy? Well, it's a bunch of reasons. It's easier. The episodes are only like 20 to 30 minutes long. It's an easy watch. But beyond the sort of mechanics of it, I feel like comedy gets a bad rap, as I kind of mentioned before. And people will say it's not academic enough. Like, why comedy? To them I say that, what would you say is academic? Right? Can we agree that math is academic? Yes, we can. Yeah, there are tons of dork math majors out there who go on to be in think tanks, or I don't know, math teachers, I guess. So if math is considered right academic, I would argue that humor, comedy, is more difficult than math. It's more academic than math, right? If you look at math, it's empirical, right? There's an answer that can be arrived at. Like, how easy is that, right? If you know the formulas and you know how to do the equations, I guess, there's an answer. You can also teach math to virtually anybody, right? Maybe not, you know, calculus or whatever, but you can teach math principles, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. Everybody knows that. It's easy to learn, like, basic math. So if those two things are true and it's super academic, then why is it more difficult? You can't teach humor to anybody. It's impossible to teach someone how to be funny. And it's it's way more difficult to understand than math because there's so much that's unknown about humor, right? There's so much sort of it relies on context, it relies on tone, it relies on different cultural references, it relies on experience, it relies on language. Like all these things have to be, you have to do all those things in real time to get a joke, right? Anybody can solve a math problem, but a joke requires a lot more mental agility to understand in real time. You're processing all this stuff in real time with just the hopes of getting a joke and understanding it and hopefully laughing at it, right? So, I mean, humor is 100%. If there's here's a great there's no better example of how much more uh, difficult humor is than math than AI, right? Ask AI to be funny. AI can answer any math equation in like 3 seconds, right? Ask it to be funny. Ask it to tell you a joke, and you will die laughing because it's so fucking bad, right? All this AI stuff. There's actually a they made a um, they did an AI version of Tom Brady doing a full stand-up set. Like it's an hour long of just Tom Brady telling jokes, all AI generated. I mean, it's terrible. It's hilarious because it's bad. If that makes any sense. But that's my point. Math, the thing that we consider, you know, we hold in the highest regard as, very serious academic pursuit, whatever, or what have you, can't even approach humor. Um, but you can do a lot of funny jokes about math, if that makes any sense. I'm just saying AI is proof that I'm right, that humor and comedy is more challenging, um, more cognitively rigorous than math is. So more academic, I would argue. Um, so there's just, it's things like that, like philosophies like that um, sort of gotten me to teaching these courses, um, and things like that. And I just, I'm going to try to impart those to you over the course of the next month or so, um, through these TV shows and our discussions, and your comments and my responses. So that's what you're in for, and I hope you're all stoked to get to it. Um, all right, you can email me any questions you have about anything really. Um, so first post is up now, and yay.